I hate theater. Oh, it's so disappointing, isn't it? You know what I do when I'm sitting in a darkened theater waiting for a show to begin? I pray. Oh dear God, please let it be a good show. And let it be short. Oh, Lord in heaven, please. 2 hours is fine. 3 hours is too much. And keep the actors out of the audience. God, I didn't pay good money to have the fourth wall come crashing down around my ears. I just want a story and a few good songs that'll take me away. I just want to be entertained. I mean, isn't that the point? Amen. You know, there was a time when people sat in darkened theaters and thought to themselves, what have George and Ira Gershwin got in store for me tonight? Or, can Cole Porter pull it off again? Can you imagine? Now it's, please, Elton John, must we continue this charade? It used to be, sitting there in the dark, you knew that when the show began, you would be taken to another world, a world full of color and music and glamour, and you thought to yourself, my God, when are they going to bring up the lights? Oh, how things have changed. Hello, how are we? I'm feeling a little blue myself. You know, a little anxious for no particular reason. A little sad to be feeling anxious at such an age. You know, a little self-conscious anxiety resulting in non-specific sadness. A state that I call blue. So whenever I'm feeling this way, blue, I like to listen to my music. So I was going through my records. Yes, records. And I pulled out the soundtrack recording of Meredith Willson's The Music Man. Oh, I had a craving for a young Ronnie Howard. But then I thought, no, let's have a treat. Let's take a trip into the decadent world of the 1920s, where the champagne flowed while the caviar chilled, and all the world was a party, for the wealthy anyways. So I dug about, and what did I find? But one of my favorite musicals, The Drowsy Chaperone. Remember? Music by Julie Gable, lyrics by Sidney Stein. It's a 2-record set remastered from the original recording made in 1928. It includes the full cast with Beatrice Stockwell as the chaperone. Isn't she elegant? And this was a full 15 years before she was named Dame Beatrice Stockwell. Can you imagine? Let me read you what it says on the back. Mix-ups, mayhem, and a gay wedding. Well, of course, the phrase gay wedding has a different meaning now, but back then it just meant fun. So, would you indulge me? Would you let me play the record for you now? Well, I was hoping you would say yes. You hear that static? I love that sound. To me, it's the sound of a time machine starting up. All right now, let's visualize. Imagine, if you will, it's November 1928. You've just arrived at the doors of the Roscoe Theater in New York. It's very cold. Remember when it used to be cold in November? Not anymore. November's the new August. It's global warming. We're all doomed. Anyway, it's very cold and there's a heavy gray sleep falling from the sky, but you don't care because you're going to see a Broadway show. Listen. Isn't it wonderful? It helps when you close your eyes. Overtures welcome. The meal will be served shortly, but in the meantime, would you like an appetizer? And that's just what an overture is. A musical appetizer. A poo-poo platter of twos, if you will. Oh, something new. What could it be? Sounds kind of like a dance tune. Kind of rollicking. Maybe involving pirates. No, don't worry, there are no pirates. Alright, here it comes. The moment when the music starts to build, you know you're only seconds away from being friends with the poet. And as the overture builds to its climax, you sit back in your seat, and the lights dim, and as you're sitting there in the dark, you think to yourself, a new giggle inside musical. Aren't you excited? What is going on? Oh, I can't wait!
Underling!
Yes, madam.
How do I look?
You look radiant, Mrs. Tottenham.
I do love this dress, though. It never goes out of style.
It's a miracle, madam.
My fancy dress. I don't know why I'm wearing it, I must confess. My dress, I love my dress. Would someone tell me why I put it on?
Yes, it's such a pleasure, arrogant, researching matter, making God bless. Your dress is one fine dress, and I will tell you why you put it on. Wedding bells will ring, wedding bells will chime. Let it go the first to satisfaction, wedding time.
Wedding bells will ring, wedding bells will come, wedding bells will ding, and we will ding along. Your fancy dress,
Very, very glad you put it on.
Wedding guests have come.
wedding guests are here, wedding guests are on, and soon you will appear.
I walked the right home, my prince of marriage, and I saw a velvet falling to my love on the walk. George, that's George, his best man, George. I'm honored to meet you and what a best man. Mrs. Tottenham. Now don't worry, this whole wedding's gonna run like clockwork. Now you see, the key is organization. Each string represents a different task yet to be completed. Yell the musicians and book a minister. This whole wedding's gonna run like clockwork.
Oh, is there going to be a wedding?
I felt like runners up. I lost my leading lady. I've gotta stop this wedding or I'm not worth watching.
I'm kidding, just kidding. I can't think about it. I'll be a little giddy if I get my shot.
We're pastry chefs, we cross our hearts. We're pastry chefs, no bakery. A bakery is what we got. My dreams are long. I am the king of romance, like it's so long. You are the king of romance, swing kiss our walls. Wedding bells will ring, wedding bells will chime, wedding bells will celebrate a happy wedding time. Someone hasn't come, someone isn't here. Where is Jenny Bird, and when will she appear?
Rosario and Beatrice. And of course, my favorite character, the Drowsy Chaperone. What more could you need for the evening's entertainment? We will ding along. I don't even know what that means. All right. I'll lead you through this record as best I can. Don't worry, it won't be hard to follow. So we begin with a welcome from the love-struck groom.
Well, I'd like to thank you all for coming. Why, who would have thought that I, Robert Martin, will be marrying such a glamorous showgirl, and that glamorous showgirl will be willing to give up her entire career for me, Robert Martin. Now, if we're prohibition, I'd say, let's raise a glass.
Here.
To Miss Janet Van de Graaff, the most beautiful girl in the world.
Absolutely not.
Excuse me?
The groom mustn't see his bride on the day of the wedding. It's bad luck.
I hope you heard that, because that's the plot. Basically, hang on for the ride.
Breakfast will be served in the Arabian room.
Say, isn't it a little early in the day to be drinking?
I don't understand the question.
Listen, you're the chaperone. Your only job is to make sure that Janet stays away from Robert. Got it?
Aye, aye,
Oh, Robert, who is my little monkey?
I am. I'm your little monkey.
So the bride and groom are whisked away, and we turn our attention to the B plot, which involves the producer.
Mr. Felton!
Getting married and leaving show business.
Mr. Felton!
Doesn't she know I got obligations?
Mr. Felton, I can be your leading lady. You said it yourself. I'm useless in the chorus.
Kitty, for the last time, you ain't got what it takes.
But I've been taking lessons. Singing and acting and ballet.
Ballet?
Yeah, I'm pretty good too. Last week, I auditioned for Swanee Lake.
A little annotation. Kitty and Felton were a couple in real life, Jack and Sadie Apple. Now, this is a familiar comic construct. A stupid woman and her long-suffering companion. Well, she appears stupid, but in the end she does something very clever which makes everyone wonder if it was all just an act. The irony here is that Sadie was actually quite stupid. Jack had to explain all the jokes to her, apparently. But still, regardless, she had a wonderful career on the stage. At the time, the theater was the only place where stupid people could earn a decent living. This was, of course, before television.
Kitty, I don't have time for this.
A penny for Mr. Feltzig?
Not now.
Perhaps a nice profiterole.
Boys, I'm not hungry.
Well, then perhaps we could give you something else to chew on.
Yeah, something that ain't food.
What?
Your confusion is to be expected. Although we stand here before you in the guise of innocent pastry chefs, we are also, and primarily, employees of a certain individual.
A certain individual?
A certain individual.
Who happens to be the single largest investor in Feldzig's Follies. He has sent us here
As pastry chefs,
to discuss Miss Van de Graaff's impending nuptials.
specifically.
That if she gets married and leaves the show, then there ain't no show.
Say, don't I know you?
No, you don't.
Have you ever spent any time in Toledo?
You ever spend any time in a coma?
No. But I have a cousin in Seattle.
Kitty. Look, boys, you can tell your boss that this wedding is never going to happen. You have my word.
Oh, we'll take your word always.
But to go back on that word would be a recipe for disaster. Now we hope we have made ourselves perfectly eclair.
What, cannoli hope?
You must stop kidding me.
Right, well, what?
Don't stop with me.
All right. Boys, you can drop the pastry chef routine.
Alas, we ganache.
We're on the land.
Lend an entree, you macaron.
The gangsters were played by interchangeable vaudeville duo the Tall brothers, John and Peter Tall. They were born Abram and Mendel Mislokovitz, but were renamed at Ellis Island by a sarcastic immigration official. They were an early example of the typical Broadway gangster, full of wordplay and stylized movement, not very intimidating. Unless you find dancers intimidating, which I do, but for reasons that would not be appropriate to the situation.
We'll leave the matter in your hands, Mr. Feltig. In the meantime, feel free to browse the dessert carousel.
Try the Toledo surprise.
It's to die for.
Holy cats! Mr. Felton! They're gangsters!
Very perceptive kid. Now, how do you face? Oh, I've got to stop sweating. But how? Oh, Lord in heaven, how? How?
I always thought that movement was a little overplayed. So with the story well on its way, let's turn our attention to the groom's room.
Hey there, Ransom. Show me those pearly whites.
The groom was played by the dashing Percy Hyman. He started out as the Albright toothpaste man. His fabulous smile adorned every tube. Albright was wildly popular in the 20s because it contained cocaine. It's true. If you looked at the label, it was the 5th ingredient down, right after sugar. Anyway, it wasn't long before he became a huge matinee idol.
Now, don't you worry, it's perfectly normal for a groom to be nervous on his wedding day. It is. Of course!
Now, some people say Percy Hyman was a bad actor, but to those people I say, shut up!
Hey there, Mr. Mirror Man, shaking and a-quaking, trembling like them free cats do. Something, baby, bothering you. Cold feet, brothers got cold feet. You can make them cold feet hot. With the little rhythm, young feet, old feet, send me up with cold feet. Rhythm make them cold feet rock down the aisle. Frosty WRHS leaves and works his way. I see Toad can die. Wedding WRHS, playing ragtime swing, make British souls come alive and take that ride. Cold feet, small feet, turn into bold feet, and make them cold feet hot.
You don't say. I don't do this flying up into your butthole, you backstabbing worm. Well, now I have to find a new minister. Say, what are you up to?
I'm singing a song little Negro taught me. I think she's ready for wedding pictures.
You think you've got dinners? You've got the easy part. I still have to get the rice, the boutonnieres. Now a minister. I've got the weight of the wedding on my shoulders.
George, it sounds like you've got cold feet.
What do I got?
Cold feet.
What do I want?
Cold feet.
What do I do?
Cold feet. Oh! You make the cold feet hot. Oh, George, you're dancing.
Five, six, seven, eight.
Was a wonderful performer. I'd like to think of him panting and sweating after a long dance routine. Well, he's still alive, you know. I saw him on the news recently celebrating his 100th birthday. To say that the passing years had taken his toll on him would be a grotesque understatement. They wheeled him out and he had that wide-eyed expression of pain and confusion that God reserves for the very, very old on their birthdays. The one that says, "Who are you? Who am I, and why is this cake on fire?" Anyway.
All right, that's enough of this dancing around like a fool.
I'm sorry, George, I can't help it. It's my wedding day and all.
Yeah, well, you could have snapped an ankle. Oh, tap dancing's too dangerous. Wait, I've got it. Why don't you go out for a skate instead?
Oh.
It's what I like to do when I want to blow off some steam.
George, what would I do without you?
Wait, you can't go out there like that. You might see Janet. Here, put on this blindfold instead.
George, you think of everything.
Just looking out for you, my boy. And no more tap dancing. Wedding bells will ring. Wedding bells will chime. Wedding bells will celebrate.
Just ignore it. It does this occasionally. It rings. It'll stop soon. Just ignore it. What? What do you want?
I've reached my answering machine. Leave a short message after the tone and I'll call you back at my convenience.
This is like... It's like a cell phone going off in the theater. God, I hate that. Hello, what are you up to? Oh, I'm at the theater ruining the moment. How about you? Oh, I couldn't get out tonight, so I thought I'd ruin the moment by proxy. Sorry, let's just shake that off. Let's go back in our minds to 1928. They didn't have cell phones in 1928, but I'm sure they had something for ruining the moment. Bugles or something.
Happy wedding time.
So the scene shifts, and we find the glamorous Janet Vandegraff entertaining questions from reporters after one of her shows.
There she is!
Miss Vandegraff, is it true that you're giving up a successful career to marry a man you hardly know?
Yes, Robert and I met at the Lido deck of the Isle of France. He entertained me with stories of his father's oil interests. We spooned briefly, and then he proposed. She's so beautiful.
So you won't be returning to the stage ever?
I shan't.
You shan't.
I shan't.
Can we quote you on that?
Of course.
We love you, Janet. Can I have your autograph?
One more question. Yes?
Why in the world would anyone put olives in a Gibson?
I got a question! How can you give up a book when you know very well that you got grease paint in your hands?
Victor, please.
Oh, Janet, please. I'm begging you. Dump the monk. Stay with the Follies. I'll give you anything you want. Oh, fine. I'll put your name above mine in the marquee.
Oh, Victor, if you think this is about vanity, you couldn't be more wrong. I don't want to show off no more. I don't want to sing tunes no more. I don't want to ride news no more. I don't want to show off. I want to wear this no more. Play the saucy Swiss Miss no more. Blow my signature no more. I don't want to show off.
Please.
Don't try to convince me. I made up my mind, and that's it. I quit. I'm leaving it all behind. I don't wanna be cute no more. Make the gentleman no more. Hey baby, I don't wanna wear fruit no more. I don't wanna show off.
We don't want to show off no more.
Not me.
Even on news no more.
History.
News no more.
Auntie, I don't wanna show off.
She don't want to show off.
I don't wanna show off.
She don't want to show off no more. Off no more.
Not me. I don't wanna show. Please, no more attention. I'm counting to 10, and I'm through. Adieu. You'll never see this. You'll never see this. Never see this. Never see that. Never see these again. I don't wanna change these no more. I don't wanna speak no more. I don't wanna say cheese no more. I don't care if you score. I don't wanna be tears no more, praise no more, grab no more, touch no more, love no more. I don't wanna show off. I don't wanna show off. I don't wanna show off. I don't wanna show. No more.
Well, Mr. Feldman, it's painfully obvious Miss Vandegraff doesn't want to continue a life on the stage.
Can't you see? It's killing her soul.
Well, don't worry, boys. This isn't over yet.
Yeah, I'm surprised she didn't do an encore. I don't wanna encore no more. Keep on selling more. I
She was the Oops Girl. Remember? Surely you remember the Oops Girl. Oh, don't you people read? She was billed as the girl whose sexual energy was so great that it caused the men around her to have accidents. Spill their drinks, run their cars into trees, and she would go, oops. Well, I'm not really doing it justice, but people ate it up. And she made a whole series of films, too. The Oops Girl. Oops Girl Comes Home and Oops Girl at Sea, which won an Oscar for special effects.
Okay, so negative problems didn't work. On the plan B. For that, I'm going to need an accomplice. I need someone gullible with loose morals. I need a, what do you call it? A European!
In walks Aldolfo, self-proclaimed ladies' man. Aldolfo was played by former silent film star and world-class alcoholic Roman Bartelli. He was the one who drank himself to death in his chateau in Nice, remember? It was 5 days before they found the body, and by that time it had already been partially consumed by his poodles. It had only been partially consumed.
Excuse me, I don't believe we've met. I am Aldolfo. You are Aldolfo? Yes, I am Aldolfo. Well, not Theo. Oh, yes, I am Aldolfo. Say, that's funny. You don't look like a scoundrel. Yes. What? Oh, why, just now I overheard the groom saying that Aldolfo was a scoundrel. I just heard him say that. What? Aldolfo is a scoundrel? Those very words. Aldolfo is a scoundrel? It's like I'm hearing it again. This is ridiculous. He's saying this to papers. Two beautiful ladies dressed for making love. You must take matters into your own hands, Aldolfo. Yes. I must dagger this groom into my hands and kill him! Yes, wait, what? No, don't kill him, just hurt him enough so he can't get married. Take me to this bride. Wait! What? What type of man is it, Luke? A big man? Well, a burly fellow? Well, he's big on the outside. No! Aldolfo not fight big men. Small, pale, with little dwarf people, Aldolfo can. What no big man? So you're a lover, not a fighter. Aldolfo is a lover of beautiful ladies. Some even say I'm the king over all. Well, you know what they say. The best way to get revenge on a man is through his dog. No. The best way to get back at a man is through his weeding dog. No, revenge. Back at a man through his... There's no other way. I'm not Santa Claus coming down the chimney. Through his woman. Oh, his woman. Yes, Aldolfo, you must seduce his woman. His woman. His bride. Aldolfo will make love to the bride. To prove that Aldolfo is no scoundrel. Take me to this bride. What? What? What type of woman is it? A big woman? No. A girly woman? No, she's the cat's pajamas. Pajamas? She's a looker. An attractive woman. Oh. Take me to this cat in pajamas. I will make her purr. Stop that!
Roman Bartelli chewing the scenery. Oh, you certainly couldn't get away with a performance like that nowadays. No, mature, contemporary audiences are far too sophisticated to enjoy broad racial stereotypes on the stage, so we banished them to Disney. Let the children sort it out.
Underling,
Yes, madam.
the pastry chefs have been kind enough to provide the liquor for the But remember, Anthony, we have to be discreet.
Yes, madam.
It is prohibition after all.
I am aware of that, madam.
You'll have to use code words. For instance, if someone asks for a glass of ice water, it means they want a glass of vodka. Have you got that?
Yes, madam.
Are you sure? Maybe you should write it down.
I understand, madam. A glass of ice water is a glass of vodka.
What's a glass of ice water?
Vodka.
Ice water?
Vodka.
Ice.
Vodka.
Well, you see that settled then? One less thing to do. Underling, might I please have a glass of ice water? I found our meeting with the pastry chefs rather trying, and I would enjoy a refreshing glass of ice water.
Your ice water, madam.
That was your vodka, you poop!
I hate this scene.
No, I really do need a glass of ice water.
Glass of ice water, madam.
Yes, ice water. Are you going deaf?
Would that I were.
You can see where this is going, can't you? It's really just a series of spit takes.
Your ice water, madam.
You know, in some ways, the Drowsy Chaperone was quite progressive.
Your ice water, madam.
You vodka, you poop!
Yes, some elements were progressive, while others were stale in 1928. You know what? I'm just going to skip ahead.
That was... Lime juice? For heaven's sake, why?
I'm going to rig out my eyebrows and make myself a gimlet.
Now, you're probably asking yourself, what was that routine doing in the show? Well, it's very simple. There's a song coming up, and they needed time to allow for the set change. It's mechanics. It's like pornography. Well, let me explain what I meant by that. In pornography, the story is simple. How can I pay for this pizza being the classic example? Anyway, as in a musical, the story only exists to connect the larger, more engaging production numbers. What? What kind of society do we live in where we can't talk about the similarities between pornography and musical theater?
In a few hours, I'm going to be Mrs. Robert Martin. Oh, my head is spinning.
Yes, life is a mad whirlwind.
Now, this is a very interesting scene. This is the only time in the show where Beatrice Stockwell and Jane Roberts are alone together on stage. Jane Roberts was an emerging star, while Beatrice Stockwell was already well established and a force to contend with.
I'm so full of apprehension, but I suppose that's normal considering the circumstances. Have you ever been married, Chaperone?
No, I drink for pleasure, not out of necessity.
Your ice water, madam. I'm afraid we're fresh out of olives.
Have you ever been married, Underling?
Heavens, no, madam. If I'm going to serve a woman, I prefer to be paid for my efforts.
Oh, you too. I know it seems crazy to give up a successful career to marry a man I hardly know, but somehow, for some reason, when I look into his eyes, his big monkey eyes, gee, I get all woozy. And that's love, isn't it?
Not necessarily. The wooziness could be caused by any number of things. I mean, I'm woozy right now, and I'm certainly not in love.
Now, Beatrice Stockwell was famous for her rousing anthems. She entertained and inspired the troops in every major world conflict up to and including the Falklands War. Of course, by that time she was in her late 80s, so her anthems didn't so much rouse as they did stupefy. Well, anyway, she demanded that a rousing anthem be included in every show she ever did, even if it wasn't appropriate. But you couldn't say no to her. Now, that's star power.
Really, you're not being the least bit helpful. Couldn't you at least allay my fears with some choice words of inspiration?
Inspiration, dear. It's really not my forte.
Yes, but if you...
As we stumble along on life's funny journey, as we stumble along into the blue, we look here and we look there, seeking answers anywhere, never sure of where to turn or what to do. Still we bumble our way through life's crazy labyrinth, barely knowing left from right nor right from wrong. And the best that we can do is hope for Bluebird will sing his song as we stumble along.
That was quite nice, Chaperone, but I don't see how it pertains to my situation.
Let me explain.
No, really, that's not necessary.
It's a dismal little world in which we live. It can bore you until you've nothing left to give. 7 overrated wonders, 7 underwhelming seas, 6 excruciating continents, Antarctica.
Oh, please. Antarctica. Oh, please.
Still you mustn't let it lick you, this planet, oh so bland. Keep your eyeball on the highball in your hand. As we stumble along, cross life's crowded dance floor, as we push and we shove, we live and we learn. And when we finally leave the bar and we see that morning star, we pull our straps up and overturn. Then we stumble away through dawn's blinding sunbeams, barely knowing right from right or left from wrong. And the best that we can do is hope the Bluebird will sing his song as we stumble along, as we stumble, bumble, fumble, palumble, as we stumble
Basically, she sings a rousing anthem about alcoholism. and that's what I love about her. She just does her own thing when she wants, regardless of the needs and concerns of others. My mother was like that.
That was quite inspiring, Chaperone, but I'm still conflicted. Oh, please just tell me, is Robert the man for me?
My dear, that's something you'll have to figure out for yourself.
But I just have to know if he loves me.
Why don't you ask him? Why don't you say, Roger, do you love me?
It's Robert, and I'm not allowed to see him. In fact, it's your job to keep me away from him.
You're right. and I take this responsibility very seriously. But just this moment, I'm feeling terribly, terribly drowsy. I think I need to lie down. Now, whatever you do, don't go wandering through the garden seeking out your fiancé to ask him the very question upon which your future happiness depends.
Why, thank you, Chaperone. I just have to know if he loves me.
Such a skinny little fool. Still, I envy her. Oh, when will love come crashing through my door?
Oh, look who it is. It's Aldolfo. Come to seduce the bride.
I am Aldolfo.
Try not to think of the poodles when listening to this part.
I am Aldolfo. And you must be bride.
No, I am not.
What? But this is bridal suite. You are the only one here. So, you must be bride.
Interesting argument, but I'm afraid you are a moron.
What?
Me no bride. Perhaps I could take a message.
Yes, very good. Dear Vanderglass, I must make love to you and transport you to the place of ecstasy. Sooner the better. Signed, Aldolfo Dino Roma.
Well, you saw through my little ruse, you found me out.
Ah, so you are the bride.
Apparently, yes. Take me, Adolfo.
No! No, no, no. Not Adolfo! You must remember my name. For when we are making love and you are screaming it, you must say that I'd never to spoil everything. How can I make you remember? I'm sure that you have heard the name of Aldolfo. How ladies now with the name of Aldolfo. Well, love me, miss, I am the same Aldolfo. I introduce myself. I am Aldolfo.
Nice to meet you, shall we?
Not so fast. So just in case you feel Aldolfo. I'll try to make it very clear Aldolfo. The lovely lady don't feel Aldolfo. When I repeat myself, I am Aldolfo.
Understood.
I can sing it high. I can sing it low, Aldolfo. I can sing it very fast. I can sing it very slowly. I do it now. It will take hours. Now let us see if you can remember my name.
I'll give it a shot.
Now who's the girl that you see?
Aldolfo.
And how should you refer to me?
Aldolfo.
And who is it always be?
Aldolfo.
Now sing it proudly.
You are Aldolfo.
Now let me spell it out for you. For all you lovely ladies who didn't hear for some reason because maybe you are hard of hearing or something. No. It goes
I think it was her secret fantasy to be swept off her feet by a Latin mother. Well, I mean a real Latin lover, not a buffoon. But that's the glory of musical theater. Spontaneous tingling, romantic fantasy, falling in love with the drop of the hat, suddenly finding yourself in an insanely romantic setting.
I'm an accident waiting to happen. Oh!
Mom, look out!
Don't worry, madam, I'm getting married today, so I have to wear a blindfold.
A blindfold?
I'm sorry. Who am I speaking to anyhow?
Why, it's me! I mean, me from France!
This scene couldn't be more ridiculous.
So, you are marrying Janet Vandergraaf, no?
We.
I hear she's very beautiful.
We.
And glamorous.
We.
Is it true she has an exceptionally broad range and excels at playing both comedic and dramatic roles?
I'm having trouble placing your accent. What part of France are you from?
You know, the middle part was the mixed toast. So, tell me, when was the moment that you knew that she was the one for you?
Well, it's a funny story, actually. We were standing on the Lido deck of the Isle de France.
Yes.
I was amusing her with stories of my father's loyal interests.
That's right.
Then I looked into her eyes. Her big, glamorous eyes, and I felt all woozy.
And then you fell.
Yes.
And then you fell.
Right on my keister. And that's when I said, well, I guess I don't have my sea legs yet.
But we haven't left the dock.
That's what she said. Then I knew it must be love.
And then you said.
Then I said, there was a time I could stop on a dime. Forbearance was one of my talents. But since you've been around, I can't hold my ground. I'm consistently losing my balance. I'm an accident waiting to happen. I promise I'm about to ensue. I'm the toy on the stair, the three-legged chair, the hand that's been caught by a shoe. When my two lovesick arms started flapping, there was nothing my angels could do. I'm an accident waiting to happen. So only I happen to you.
And then what happened?
Let's enjoy it.
When men say I'm sweet and they fall at my feet, my heart doesn't beat any faster. But when you lose control, it touches my soul. So I'm bracing myself for disaster.